Hello, welcome to this episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards. Each week we bring you new rock interviews from around the globe, from local to national musicians to keep the torch alive with live rock music. You can catch all our shows wherever you get your podcasts with new episodes every weekend. And visit our website, talkingaboutrock.com, for some great photos, links to our interviews, and new releases. On this episode, we'll be chatting with Kip Winger from the band Winger. They're celebrating 35 years as a touring and recording act, and will release the new album 7 on May 5th. The 12-track album, produced by Kip Winger and recorded in Nashville, will be distributed worldwide by Frontier Records. 7 marks the band's first new release since 2014's Better Days Coming, and also is the 30th anniversary for their album Pull, released in 1993. Next, Kip Winger on Talking About Rock. Okay, joining us now, we have Kip Winger. Hello, Kip. How are you?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. You guys have over 35 years as a touring and recording act. The new album 7 out on May 5th. Which has got a harder rock sound on the record, but also orchestral influences on here as well.
Yeah, I mean, the process has been the same since the very beginning, and with the added benefit of all the music that I've studied in the last years and stuff. So I try to interject some of that just to keep the music fresh. But the process is the same with Reb and I. It's like drum machine, write a riff, go from there. So, I intentionally cranked the guitars on this album just to give it a bit of an edge.
Yeah, it definitely gives it more of a crunch. And you guys premiered the new track, It All Comes Around, today online, which is getting thousands of views. It's a great track.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And it kind of sums up kind of what's happening in music a little bit, right? It all comes around, right? It's all coming back around again, which is fabulous.
It seems to be. I mean, Def Leppard and Motley Crue are out there killing it, and the rest of us are following. In terms of audience attendance is up. This kind of music has really survived, and this is another reason why I really wanted to make a record that had a fresh feel to it, and keep the quality control as high as I could and raise the bar as much as I could, because I never want to be one of those bands that puts out 3 good songs and the rest of it's kind of filler stuff. But
yeah, there's definitely great tracks on here. You guys originally arose to prominence, obviously, in the day with MTV. Was that kind of like a double-edged sword a little bit for you, kind of? I mean, you had a lot of airplay, but then also you got some sarcasm thrown in there from their little comic show, Beavis and Butthead. Was it kind of like a double-edged sword with that?
Well, MTV really helped us a lot, as it did a lot of bands. And by the time MTV was in full swing, you couldn't be in the music business without being on MTV. I mean, I think the Beavis and Butthead thing was just luck of the draw. I mean, I've talked to Mike Judge about it, and it was just kind of one of those things that happened. It wasn't like planned out in the way that people might think. Didn't help us, but it kind of is what it is. So.
Right, and let's set the record straight for a little bit of folks who maybe aren't aware, and correct me if I'm wrong. So you started on stage at 8 years old. At 16, you started playing classical music after you were in some karate and ballet with your girlfriend. And then in Colorado, you started playing in bands with your brothers, Nate and Paul, plus your friend Peter. And then early on, you sent a demo tape to Alan Parsons, for whom you received a reply letter, and actually was chosen as their singer years later.
Yeah, all that's true. I was in the band with my brothers from day one. That's the band I was in when I was 8. I studied karate with my brother and then took ballet with my girlfriend, who promptly quit. And I was really into the music and kind of got into that. And I did send Alice Parsons our demo tape, and he wrote me back. I still have the letter. And years later, he invited me to join his band. 2003, I think. And yeah, hell of a ride.
Yeah, and I think originally the name of the band you had was going to be Sahara, right? Until Alice Cooper actually suggested you use the name Winger, right?
Yes, the band, yeah, we were called Sahara. I wanted it to be like a band name. I didn't want name of the band to be my name.
Right.
Um, and we had promotional photos printed up with Sahara and all that stuff. And at the last kind of final hour, we got served with a paper from a lawyer that talked about a copyright claim with a trademark and all that. So we had to change the name and at the last minute. And back in those days, we were just out of ideas, man. I think
Right.
the president of the label, Doug Morris, suggested Winger, and that one stuck.
Yeah, definitely great. And you've had quite the solo career also. You moved to New Mexico and went to the University of New Mexico and you released multiple solo albums and then moved back to Nashville and did some solo work there.
Yeah, I've done 4 solo albums. Moved to Nashville in '94 and kind of reinvented the way I write music and stuff back then. That was when the grunge thing hit, and we were kind of all out of a job basically. And
Yeah,
so,
that just changed music like it seemed like overnight. I mean, for folks like me that really love this music, and that came about, and it was like, okay, now we're gonna watch people, kind of playing in their garage with their sneakers for a while. That's
yeah.
what it kind of looked like to me, anyways. But again, guess what? Real rock music is back now.
Well, we've been enjoying a resurgence now for a while. It's kind of been on its way back up for several years, but there were some good bands that came out of the grunge period. Certainly talented musicians, but
Oh yes, definitely.
um, like I said this earlier, I think it's cyclical. Younger generations want their own kind of music that's different than their big brother or sister. So it's the Elvis, the Beatles, the Bee Gees, the Clash, the Sex Pistols, the you know Quiet Riot. That all just keeps changing.
Exactly.
Except that it doesn't really do it now much because the internet has made it so um, there's so much to choose from that most people that I know are into all kinds of different stuff now.
Yeah, it comes out so quickly. There's so many different bands putting out stuff all the time. You can release new music, right away into the wild, as it were. Yeah,
Yeah,
tons of different stuff going on. Crazy.
yeah,
But besides that, you also participated and performed as a head counselor at the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp as well, I was reading.
yeah. I did fantasy camp for about 8 years, and that was fun. I got to jam with a lot of my heroes, particularly Mark Farner from Grand Funk, Jeff Beck, uh, Roger Daltrey. That was fun, man. Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, for anybody who doesn't know, you can go to their website, and it's just a great experience. So a lot of my longest lifetime friends I met in rock camp. So that was fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds very cool for sure. And that kind of brings us up to date now. So the new album 7 out May 5th. And for Proud Desperado, you did some writing on this with Desmond Child.
Yep, Reb and I wrote the song and had the melody and all that, and I was just stuck on the lyrics and I saw Desmond online doing a masterclass songwriting thing for Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp.
Oh, there you go.
And, we'd known each other for a long time. I sang on Trash that he produced for Alice Cooper, and I asked him if he'd help me with that tune, and man, he really, yeah, he's a very talented guy, man. He really helped a lot on that song and brought it home.
Yeah, and definitely. For those people that don't know, Desmond Child has credits from Kiss to Joan Jett, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, and like you said, he produced the Alice Cooper Trash album. Just a very talented songwriter. So I wanted to take a quick break here, and we're going to play the track. And for those that are watching the video for Proud Desperado, and then we'll be right back here with Kip Winger on Talking About Rock. Okay, we're back here on Talk About Rock with Kip Winger. We love the videos you guys are doing for this track, man. And Winger's one of the only bands formed in the late '80s that still has the original members. There's so many other bands out there. They're picking people here and there, and there's maybe one original person if you're lucky at this point now, right?
Yeah, that's true. We're all friends, man. I mean, we've always been friends. So even when we weren't doing the band, we were always friends. Rod played on my solo stuff. Even Reb played on one track. Reb was very busy with Whitesnake, but we always stayed in touch. And Paul and I live pretty close to each other. We never got in any fights. It's a great hang. Everyone's very funny, and so we're not like doing it for the money. We really enjoy the hang.
Yeah, I think that's so excellent. And from a fan standpoint as well, they're looking to have the original people in that band that made this band come to life. You know what I mean? When you go there and you're seeing maybe one or two people, you don't feel like you're getting a full experience from a fan standpoint, right?
I totally agree. Yeah, I was very insistent on this album to have every member play on every single song. So in many ways, it's the most Wingerized record that we've done because every original member plus John Roth is on every track. So the recipe of it, the ingredients really, hold up as the most pure form of Wingerized albums that we've done.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. And Reb on there is just killing it. I'm checking it out, and it's amazing. Some of the licks he's got going on here. It's just great.
Yeah, Reb's the riffmeister for sure.
So you guys, to support the new album, Winger's going to begin touring the UK with Steel Panther in May, followed by a US tour with Tom Kiefer in June. And then the band's going to be doing a number of headlining shows throughout the summer as well. I got to actually catch you back, I think about a year ago or so, playing with Jack Russell's Great White out here on tour a little bit. But you're going to be coming back this way. You're going to be at the Turning Stone Casino April 15th with Skid Row and Great White in Verona, New York.
Oh, that's a solo gig for me. I'm opening solo on that. So for anybody that wants to see the band, just go to wingertheband.com and because we got a lot of tour dates coming up. And anybody that's watching this in the UK will be in the UK with Steel Panther in May. A lot of headline shows. Then we're doing Tom Kiefer, like you said. Australia in September, Japan probably in September. So yeah, we're very busy.
Definitely great. Well, thank you, Kip, for joining us today so much. And folks, you can catch Winger on tour starting April 13th. All the dates are on the website, wingertheband.com. You can pick up a copy of the new album 7 out May 5th. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Talking About Rock. You can follow us on social media at Talking About Rock and on our website at talkingaboutrock.com. We want to leave you today with the latest track in the video that was just released today. It All Comes Around. You guys can check that out. And thank you again, Kip. Great speaking with you today.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Be sure you're looking down as you're flying through the clouds. Keep your demons safe and sound, 'cause it all comes back around. Yeah, it all comes back around. Dark heart disguised, street smart, you survive. Preying on weak souls, your cruel ways out of control. Forgot where you came from. You thought you'd get away. You never got busted. You just fly away. The call of reckoning, scorched earth in your wake. It's not worth what you're paying. Your empire of nothing couldn't break your fall. Your karma